Jurgen, the man who deputised for you in the replay against Shrewsbury, has left the club and taken over at Blackpool. So, just give us your thoughts on Neil Critchley taking on a new challenge.
Congratulations to Blackpool and to Neil. It's a great thing. It's what I think a nice challenge for him, a nice opportunity for him. He wanted to take it. He asked the club. We said yes, of course. It's really nice because it shows that it's possible that you can make your way in as a youth or U23 coach as well. That's always what we wanted to have. We wanted to have the best people here in all different departments. That means in all the coaching roles as well. That means that there is some requests, or will hopefully be more in the future, some requests from other clubs, and that's exactly how it should be. We don't want to have somebody here for like 20 years who's doing the same job. No, it's exactly like that. I'm really happy for him that he got that opportunity, that he takes it, and a big club, and hopefully everything will go well.
And what about his under 23s, or at least some of them getting the opportunity in the FA Cup again, or is your thinking impacted somewhat by suffering your first league defeat of the season and the need to bounce back from that?
Start once again.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, were you thinking again of going with a number of younger players in the FA Cup, or is your thinking then changed somewhat because of the defeat at the weekend, the first league defeat, and the need to bounce back from that?
No, the defeat has absolutely nothing to do with the lineup tomorrow night, but the lineup will be shown tomorrow night, and not now and here. We have no clue what Chelsea's doing. Why should Chelsea know what we are doing? And that's it, pretty much. We always played the team who gave us the best opportunity to go to the next round. That was for different reasons. So it's always the physical demands of a season, stuff like this. When are the games? How are the boys in that moment? Fitness level, stuff like this. Injuries, coming back from injuries, stuff like this. It was always like this, yes, with a little exception of the replay against Shrewsbury, how we all know. But apart from that, it was always the same. It will be like this as well.
And Jordan Henderson's absence, what impact does that have on the team as a whole?
He wasn't absent, he was in the dressing room, so just didn't play, like Millie was. And I really love how finally Hendo gets all the recognition he would have deserved maybe earlier. But Hendo's absence, or Millie's absence, was not the reason for losing against Watford. So it's never like this, and it will hopefully never be like that. We have had enough some very good players on the pitch, and we didn't deliver. That's how it is, and we are not blind. We saw that, but yeah, it's very, very important, of course.
Yes, sir. Just in terms of the other lads, fitness-wise, obviously no Joe, Naby. Just wondering how much closer maybe Jordan is. Any other new ones? How's it looking?
No new ones, I think, and Millie is back. The others not. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, who are the others?
Joe, no Naby.
Oh yes, Joe. Joe and Millie are back. The others not.
We've spoken quite a lot over the last few years about rhythm and how obviously it helps you move through matches more fluidly, shall we say. So how do you see your team's rhythm at the moment?
All good. It's look. There are so many explanations for the defeat, and I know it's nice. Finally, you have some questions. I think it was boring over the time, and I was speaking always about the same thing. But I cannot now deliver just interesting answers. So it's not about the rhythm. It's not about that. We didn't play well. So that's the truth. And Watford hurt us in moments when we are usually in situations where we are usually much better. So it was a throw-in fight for the first ball, cannot block the cross, and on the right position for the guy who is finishing it off in the end. So 3-4 mistakes in a row that can lead to goals. That has nothing to do with rhythm. The next goal we concede in a situation where I think at least one, if not two players of us thought the ball is out. That's something, it's about mindset in this moment, how concentration level, how ready you are. And we saw that for ourselves. It was not the day where we showed our best attitude-wise. Apart from that, it was anyway a very difficult game because Watford defended in a 6-3-1 formation, which is of course allowed, but quite a challenge to play against. But if you want to play against it, you have to play different, like we did. And I really thought in the beginning of the second half, finally we got it. Took a while, but finally we got it, and then we conceded the first goal, and then we conceded the second goal, and then it's not game over, but it's not that you can then build on a few good situations in the beginning of the second half. That's it. Nothing to do with rhythm, but look, the situation we are in. If you wanna read a book about how to deal with the situation, you couldn't read a book because nobody else was in the situation before us. So the boys didn't lose, and I really had no idea how many games it was, but now I know it because everybody told me it's over now, and that was 44 games without losing a Premier League game. The Premier League game before Watford we lost was at Man City. It was because of 11 millimeters. Imagine we wouldn't have lost that game. It would have been a run of more than 60 games, which is absolutely incredible. Sorry?
And you've been champions.
Yeah, apart from that's not sure, but maybe I don't know, maybe or not. But it's incredible. So now in this game, we didn't show. It's not that I know that we didn't play the stars from the sky in the game against West Ham, but that's not possible. We played 4 times in a row against teams who either fight for the league or with all they have, or against Atletico if you want, a team who is not in the best moment or was not in the best moment in the league and plays a home game in a really interesting approach where you're really defensive orientated, massive the formation wise. So that's the most difficult thing in football. It's nothing to do about rhythm. Could we have done better? Of course. But it's not about now picking this game out, the Watford game, and so that was the sign that something went wrong. It's not like this. We have the chance to react, and that's how it is. The longer you are in a situation like this, the biggest challenge these boys face constantly. Everybody's fighting for everything, and we fight with questions we get asked about: is it over yet? When will you do it? And stuff like this. So it's not that we are really bothered about it. It's just a situation. That's over now. That's good. So we can concentrate again completely on football, and we will do that. It didn't distract us or whatever. It's just a situation. Nobody can tell us how to deal in the best way with runs like this because not a lot of teams had it. That's all what I can say. I was not happy with the performance, but it was always clear that there will be a moment where it can happen, and now it happened. So that's how it is. Nothing else.
Go to Alistair and then we'll go to Chris.
Hi, Jurgen Klopp from Boozy. I just wondered whether this game, the FA Cup game, is actually quite a nice release in terms of the pressure or just a different competition, so a different mindset and different players.
Look, we never really think about lesser pressure or whatever. We are Liverpool. We are always under pressure. We always have to deliver. We play away at Chelsea, and everybody expects us to win there. So, which is difficult. Was always difficult. Will always be difficult. So that's the situation. There's for sure no favourite in this game. And if then it's Chelsea because they play at home. If you look at the squad of Chelsea, how the changes, if they make changes, I don't know if Frank is doing that. But if they make changes, then it's still a very very experienced team. We saw the lineups when we did the analyze yesterday. Then I saw. They made 8 or 9 changes in the game. So when you look then at the team, then they are playing Pedro, used to play because Abraham was fit, and they were playing Pedro, Giroud, and Willian. Wow, that's a nice second formation if you want afterwards. So that's that. We don't really think it's not more pressure or less pressure than before. It's just a last 16 of the FA Cup, and we want to go through. That's the plan, and that's what hopefully everybody can see.
Do you feel like? Obviously there's selection issues there in terms of your strongest team or whatever, but do you feel a loyalty to the team, the players that have played through the FA Cup, will they continue to play in the FA Cup?
It's not about loyalty. These boys are our boys, and they did what they did. And if we would win the FA Cup in the end, they would be involved in all the celebrations. If they will play tomorrow night, I don't know. We will see that. For sure not all of them. It will not be, but it was not FA Cup, it was Aston Villa, this team now, which played against Aston Villa was a different competition anyway, and that from the Shrewsbury team for sure. There will be boys in the squad, and who will start, then we will see. But it's a different situation like it was in the last round. If you see that the Shrewsbury team, the team who played Shrewsbury at Shrewsbury, that was actually an FA Cup team for us in that moment, which we thought would make sense. We couldn't get the result we wanted. That's why we had to play a second time. But it will not be exactly the team who played the second time then against Shrewsbury.
And I know obviously you've got a huge lead still in the league, and then there's been a couple of defeats recently. But some Liverpool fans be a bit paranoid about the fact that there's coronavirus around as well. All this, some getting teased by other fans about potentially the league being suspended or anything. Do you have a message for any paranoid Liverpool fans?
I don't think that all fans are paranoid. I think people who are not interested in us bringing up these stories. I can't believe that Liverpool fans are thinking about it, and I actually speak to Liverpool fans. If anybody wants to ask me about that and how much sense it would make to what is that, to delete all the results of this season and tell me who will play next year Champions League and stuff like this, would be really interesting. A nice story. Always, obviously, some newspapers have always to write something, but when I saw it first time, I really thought, wow, really something. Somebody thinks something like that. So Liverpool fans are not silly enough to believe in these things.
Jurgen, in the last few weeks against Atletico and Watford, what's made it so difficult for your side to break down these teams when you've played a lot of teams this season who've played in a similar way and sat back?
Just a moment, the quality of Atletico, for example, how they did it. It's a world-class team, and then you play against them and they're set up like this. That's the biggest challenge in football. And it's football things, just football things. So play the balls in the right spaces, overplay the last line in the right moment, not only, but for example, long balls from the last line, but from half spaces. How you can. The first goal City scored yesterday against Aston Villa. It's a perfect example. Again, how you have to play against a team like this, because it's a chip ball. I'm not sure, from 20 yards for Foden, who is sprinting in behind the last line and heads the ball back to Aguero, and he can do it. You need to have much more of these situations. That's football, just football situations. We had these moments. We scored in similar situations. For example, the Norwich goal was a ball in behind the line, but it's a different situation. But we had these moments a lot of time. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. But again, it's easy to. I can ask every week for the perfect solutions and stuff like this. But the boys have to deliver that, and that's because we are all, and they are especially human beings. It's not that easy, and they did it so often, so well. So that's why I said we don't lie to ourselves. It was not that we said it was clear it will happen, and then we don't care how it happened. No, we made a meeting about that game, showed the situations, what we could have done better, and now we have to make sure that we do it better if there are similar situations. Because I would guess that. The game tomorrow night will be different. Chelsea is a football playing side. I think from a passing point of view, one of the top sides in the league for sure. And that's where we have to find a solution for that first and foremost. So it will be a completely different challenge. Chelsea builds up the game pretty much constantly. If they don't do against us, then it's over. But I wouldn't imagine that in a moment. So we need to defend them really well, and then there will be different spaces and stuff like this. It's similar. But we spoke about that 3 years ago, how to play against deep blocks, and we improved a lot in that. And now in these games, when you don't win them, that's the reason why. That's the reason why other teams didn't win football games where everybody expected them to win it, because you have to do the right things again and again and again, and we didn't do it often enough.
And I know you've said about what the game not affecting your thoughts in terms of team selection for tomorrow night, but
it affects, of course, because we played it and it was intense. That affects, but not the result.
But does this game against Chelsea take on maybe a bit more significance in terms of getting back to winning ways and avoiding back-to-back defeats?
Yes, you don't want to lose football games. So do we want to win the game more because we lost the last one? I don't know. We want to win football games constantly. Yes, it's more important. I don't know. It's very important. The most important game we have, because the only one we play, it's the FA Cup, and you have only one chance. We have to win it if you want to go through. whichever way we use to do so, and that's what we have to make sure. But it will be really difficult, and we cannot. It will be not easier for us because only because we lost the last game, and now we have an extra motivation or whatever. Chelsea have plenty of reasons by themselves and why they want to go through. So that will be a tough one. It's FA Cup, so and two big teams play against each other, and it will be interesting.
Has anybody got anything? Or yes, and I'll go to Carl after that. Yeah.
Jurgen, it wasn't an easy season for them so far, but they found themselves at 4th place. So what do you think about the job that Frank Lampard is doing at Chelsea at the moment?
Super job. Whatever I could see, it's completely normal. That things I like the project a lot. I'm not sure, maybe because the transfer ban it was not really planned, but having this amount of sensational young players is really nice, and they are all ready to play Premier League, obviously, and so they did really well so far. But the fight for the Champions League, that means you have to beat at least 3 or 4 teams which you with similar circumstances, similar opportunities, possibilities, and stuff like this, and that's for a really long season, a really demanding season, with playing Champions League and all that stuff. So that's not so easy, but the way they go looks really promising, and Frank is doing an incredible job. But for all managers, it's and especially Frank, he's a very successful player. To deal with defeats is the biggest challenge for all of us, and but I thought so far they did really brilliant.
Yes, Carl at the back.
When in your recent struggles, the focus always seems to have turned on the players you've not had available. We spoke about Endo, and on Saturday it was Joe Gomez. I'm just wondering how easy it is for those players who are coming in to replace those players, and whether it's a fair assessment to focus on them as much, or to give them a leeway.
No, it's not fair, but it's the world. It's of course not fair. If anybody gave now Dejan Lovren the blame for our defeat, then I can't help these people. It's just... Look, a lot of times in my life I speak to people they know lesser than I about football. That's okay. I'm a well-paid Premier League manager. I should know a little bit more than most of the people, but it's on that level I cannot discuss. So you have to see the situations, yes, and it was a massive challenge for Dejan to play against Troy Deeney. So many other centre-halves in the world would struggle in these specific situations. And Joe had problems in similar situations before that. Probably everybody forgets it now and then in these situations, in that moments, that's how it is. But losing the first ball is never the problem in these situations, because Troy cannot score from there, where he picks up the balls from Foster or whatever. So it's all about the formation around that, picking him up. And I don't remember a lot of situations where they had then immediately a chance after that. It was the fight for the throw-in. That's the one situation. But we could have avoided that goal in 2 other situations on top of that. So it's not like that. So it's completely normal. And both Dejan and Joel played for us on this position. Sensational games. But like everybody in life, you need to be healthy, then you have to get fit, and when you are fit, you need rhythm. So that's the most difficult thing to get in professional football, because if you're out, you have sessions, stuff like this, but you don't play that often. So that's the situation. But he's an outstanding centre-half. Who replaced then Hendo? Oh, Oxley. So Oxley is a super player, so that's how it is. It's always the same. That we didn't. If you can tell me one player on Monday night, no, when did we play? Today's Monday, Saturday. Oh, sorry, Saturday. Who played his normal level? I would be really surprised. And it's not because 2 boys played. They didn't play with them a week or 2 before. It's up to nothing to do. It's one of these questions which probably people ask when they don't know what to ask, really. Sorry, Carl, but you knew it before, that it has nothing to do with that, and I made a really long answer of it anyway. Sorry.
Thank you. Anyway.
Welcome.
Happy?
Yes.
Happy now, very happy, can imagine.